known as the Feast of Ingathering. All right. Any of y'all brothers on a Facebook Live, if I go out, I'm also on the conference call. All right, 641-715-3580. 641-715-3580. Access code 385417. So if the live feed goes out, y'all can also go call a conference call. That's another option. All right. So somebody type in on a comment board. Let me see who's studying, who know their feast days. What are the three main feast days that Israel, all males, must appear before the Most High? All right, let's go back to Leviticus 23:39. All right, we're going to go back to Leviticus 23:39. So like it, y'all. Let me cut this air off. All right. That AC making my cold a little worse there. But it was hot in here earlier. All right. Okay, yeah, y'all brothers got it. Sabor got it. Yakanan got it. And the sister got it. Khan. All praises. Passover, Feast of First Fruits, and the Feast of Tabernacles. 3 times in a year, all your males were to appear before Yahweh. Okay? So, Leviticus 23 and 39 again. So that's a link up for y'all. Somebody put that in the comments. Leviticus 23:39 with Exodus 34:22. Another name for the Feast of Tabernacles is the Feast of Ingathering. Y'all brothers and sisters on a conference call, put that down in your notes if you don't have it from last week. We went over that last week. This is basic stuff that y'all should know about the feast days. All right. Who's that? Get you some garlic on that cold, brother. Everybody got a remedy for me. All right, ginger, garlic, honey with lemon. I tell y'all every year, I get sick when the weather change. I don't know. I try to eat healthy, vitamin C, all that, but my body, it's its own healing mechanism. I know about all that. I'm not saying I don't want y'all advice, but ginger, raw honey, all that, garlic. I know, I'm familiar with all that. Boil an onion in the water, turmeric and honey, yes. But my body tends to heal itself. I mean, all that stuff helps, but my body just needs time, and the Most High just have it heal itself. But thank y'all for the heads up. But Israel got a remedy for everything. All right, Salakia. But anyway, but that don't mean y'all can't send me y'all advice. I'm not saying y'all can't, It might be something I never heard of. You know what I'm saying? But Negroes got a remedy for everything. You need to lay in the bed and take some leaves from outside. Take some of them Feast of Tabernacles leaves and branches and wrap yourself up in them and sleep. And when you wake up, that cold going to be gone. Hallelujah. All right? Everybody got a remedy. Take some of them leaves from the booth of the Feast of Tabernacles and wrap yourself in them and sweat that cold out. Hallelujah. All right. Anyway, Salakia, y'all. All right. Leviticus 23:39. Also in the 15th day of the 7th month, when ye have gathered in the fruit of the land, ye shall keep a feast unto Yahweh 7 days. On the first day shall be a Sabbath, and on the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. So tonight is also a Sabbath. All right. Tonight is also a Sabbath. Eleazar, hold your arms up. I don't think I ever heard that one, brother. All right, but Salakia, I digress. But anyway, on the first day is a Sabbath. So last Saturday night was a Sabbath. It was a double back-to-back Sabbath. Friday night, regular Sabbath, and then Saturday night. This week is a back-to-back Sabbath. Friday night Sabbath, Saturday night Sabbath. All right, but all feast days in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, they are also Sabbaths. All right. Verse 40. And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook. And ye shall rejoice before Yahweh your power 7 days. So we used to take the branches of these different trees and we would build our booths out of those. Now throughout time and rehearsing the righteous acts, the booths can be made out of different materials. You might have one just made out of wood. You may go to a Home Depot or whatever. Some brothers go and get some thick plywood and just make their booth out of that. You got tents now made out of canvas. And no matter what material your booth is, you should always go out and get some branches. And even if you don't get these specific branches from these trees, go out and get some branches and just tie them and decorate your booth with different branches. Even if your booth or your tent is not made out of the branches, whatever material it's made out of, decorate your booth or your tent with branches. All right, you can get branches from out in the forest or whatever and just decorate and put some branches around your tent. Right, just for that spirit of trying to get as close to what the Lord is saying as possible. All right, 41. And ye shall keep it a feast unto Yahweh 7 days in a year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month. So the Lord is clear on when he wants us to keep our feast days in their proper time and season. All right, ye shall dwell in booths 7 days. All that are Israelites born shall dwell in booths. Booths, temporary housing or tents, like the Native Americans had, the TP. All right, you should dwell in booths for these 7 days. Now, a lot of y'all, some of y'all are able to do it. Some brothers and sisters, like most of the time, you're going to get a weekend during the Feast of Tabernacles because it's 8 days. So you're going to get a weekend somewhere in there. So a lot of times brothers and sisters do it for the weekend because maybe you can't get that time of the year. Some brothers and sisters, they wait to the Feast of Tabernacles and they take their vacation time from their job and they dwell, they go camping for 7 days, or they go somewhere up in the mountains or whatever and they dwell in a tent for 7 days. However we doing it, Israel, but as long as we rehearsing the righteous acts and trying to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. All right, 43. That your generations may know that I made the children of Yasha'Allah to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am Yahweh your power. Shalom, Micah Allah. Shout out to HOI Vegas. Right. Khan Sabal, we're going to get to that. With the water ark. It says 43, that your generations may know that I made the children of Israel to dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am Yahweh your power. And Moses declared unto the children of Israel the feast of Yahweh. So Leviticus 23 gives you all the feast of the Most High. And this is the last feast day for the year, according to Leviticus 23. We also have a dedication that's coming up, feast of dedication, Hanukkah, but this is the last for the year. All right, for the calendar year of Leviticus 23. So when we go from the 41st verse, Sabal mentioned it in the comments, and ye shall keep it a feast unto Yahweh 7 days in a year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. Ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month. So that's a cut on the water ark. That's a cut on you can't keep it because you're in captivity. Nope. That's a cut. It said it shall be forever throughout all our generations from year to year. So that's a cut. You know what I'm saying? Right? That's a cut right there. So right now, what's happening? There is no excuse. When you come into this truth, there's no excuse for not keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. There's no excuse. Because the Lord said throughout our generations, ye shall celebrate it in the 7th month. So that's no excuse. Yes, we in captivity under the so-called white man. Right now, this devil rules over us. All right? Look at the way they murder us and kill us in the street. Look how they took Bill Cosby and marched that man to jail. That man, if unless the Most High have mercy on that brother, Bill Cosby is more likely than not, he's going to die in jail. 10 years for that brother, man. 3 to 10 years, and he's already old. He's turning blind. He's getting weak. But what? The science behind Bill Cosby is Bill Cosby was the last positive image of a so-called black man in this society. So Bill Cosby, what happened is they said we're going to destroy the last positive imaging of a black man in this society. Now, I don't want to go off topic, but yet on topic, because we living in the end time in the last days, and celebrating these feast days is important because that gets us closer to the Most High as we see this world getting more and more wicked, and they trying to target us more as a people. But I'm going to hit you with something, man. I don't know if Cosby is guilty or not, honestly. There is some evidence that he did sexually abuse these women. He got right. No more leaders, man. It's just the men of Israel left. It's just the prophets left. The Most High said in 1 Corinthians 4:9 that he set the prophets for last. He set the apostles for last. All right. And once the Most High going to move everything out of the way, and it's just going to be Israel left. That's it. That's what the scriptures tell you. But anyway, Bill Cosby got an album called It's True, It's True. And on that album, he jokes about giving women Spanish fly. But when they interviewed Bill Cosby, he said, look, it was the 70s. Everybody was taking drugs and having sex. I didn't really drug these women and take advantage of them, but it was a common thing being done back then. So if you're going to lock him up, you got to dig up all these other guys and lock them up. You understand? That's all I'm saying. But Bill Cosby, look it up. He does have an album, a comedy album called It's True, It's True. Is it true, Cosby? He got an album called It's True, It's True. And on there, he's got a segment where you can look it up on YouTube, where he's joking about giving women Spanish fly. All right, but either way, we got to look at the deeper message behind that, Israel. The message behind that is you niggas will never have, right? You niggas will never have a leader among you. You niggas will never have a leader among you that's a positive image and role model. It's just not going to happen. That's basically what they were saying in a nutshell. So that's the whole science behind Bill Cosby. All right. It's a what? Bill no rape a soul. Bill Cosby never raped a soul. That's what you're trying to say. Bill Cosby never raped a soul. Yeah, I don't. Like I said, brother, I don't know. I would hope that the brother didn't have to rape nobody. You was a successful black man accepted in a white man's world. That's a gold mine for some women. You a successful black man accepted in a white man's world? Well, at least back then he was, because you're never really accepted in their world. They're going to get rid of you. The O.J. Simpsons, the Bill Cosbys, they're going to get rid of you. You're never really accepted in their world. But at that time you were. You had the facade that you were. What the hell you got to drug any woman for to get some coochie? Women going to be throwing themselves at you. You be a successful black man accepted by mainstream white America. Women will throw themselves at you. Even black women. Because black women will be like, oh, that nigga got some money and he's accepted by white society. Look how many women, when Obama became president, look how many black women were saying, listen, Michelle, you better watch it. Because Obama was a clean-cut black man, a so-called clean-cut black man in a suit and tie that was accepted by mainstream white America. So women was going crazy over him. All kinds of women, all right? So You got to understand, it's a plot. That's all it is. It's just to disparage the black man's image in the media. All right, but we got to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments as the children of Israel. They're gonna get rid of all these so-called black people and leaders. And what? When the smoke clear, it's only gonna be Israel. Let me get that, matter of fact, real quick. We're gonna get back to the tabernacles, y'all, but the Spirit had me get that first Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 9, I believe it is. Bear with me, y'all. 1 Corinthians 4 and 9. All right. Yeah. All right. 1 Corinthians 4 and 9. For I think that Yahweh has set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed to death. For we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to angels, and to men. See that? The Lord said he have set the apostles for last. The men of the Lord, we're going to be the last. All right, as it was appointed unto death. Because why? We're going to have to go. All the leaders are going to be wiped out. And the apostles and teachers and prophets and 144,000, we're going to have to fight and teach this gospel to the death. We're going to have to go to the death, waking our people up, teaching them this truth. So Paul said that. They're going to get rid of everything. Everything. All the other religious philosophies, they all going to be wiped out. And if they dare, they're not going to have no power. And Israel going to rise to the occasion. That's why it said we made a spectacle unto the world. That's starting to happen now. You got all these groups. You got the apologists. You got the black identity extremists. You got the Southern Poverty Law Center. All these groups now throwing this focal point on Israel. T.D. Jakes getting mad. Don't listen to them guys. Because why? The truth is starting to shake things up. All right? Even the conscious community. What's that sister? Empress Sekhmet. She done converted to the truth. And she said a lot more people. All right? She said a lot more people is going to be leaving the conscious community and coming to the truth. And it's not that we want that. It's just, it is what it is. Those people have their own mind. If you don't want to deal with the RBG no more, or all these other groups no more, and you know, but that sister, I saw the video with Sanetta, Empress Sekhmet. Some sister she was deep into that Kemetic science and Egyptology. She done converted to the truth. I think she joined the ISUPK school. All right. So either way, you know, we know brothers say they the only ones with the truth and different things, but either way, these people are coming into the knowledge of being Israelites from all walks of life. So we are set last, but we are made a spectacle unto the world and to angels unto men. Look at those Israelites. All right. Oh yeah, she dealing with Tazaryak. Yeah, Khan. But either way, you know, they waking up to the truth. All right, reading on, it says, we are fools for Yahweh's sake. Don't the people laugh at us? These Israelites are crazy. They bugged out. They look like Power Rangers. All right, you guys believe the sky is going to crack open? I heard Sanetta say that today. All right. You guys think the sky going to crack open? Somebody coming to save y'all. We are fools for Yahweh's sake. A lot of people look at us as damn fools, man. Right? The Israelites are crazy. They out there yelling at people on the corner, yelling at the white man, screaming at people. See, a lot of y'all, you know what it is? Y'all don't have the spirit to understand the doctrine, so we just look like some guys yelling on the corner, angry. But it's deeper than that. And that's no disrespect. Y'all don't have the spirit. All right? So, it said, we are fools for Yahweh's sake, but ye are wise in Yahweh's. We are weak, but ye are strong. Ye are honorable, but we are despised. Paul was talking to some of the other churches and disciples that were looked up, because you had levels even with the disciples. Like some Israelite congregations, they looked up to be more prestigious. They got more members. They got more money coming in. And there's nothing wrong with that. They're building on a certain level. So the people say, if anything, that Israelite group is okay because they look like they prospering. Well, Paul, he was more so with, lower level brothers that maybe didn't have as much, or people thumped their noses at them or said, look at y'all compared to them or whatever. But they were still disciples of Christ. All right, either way. So that's what Paul was saying too. But he said, we are fools for Yahweh's sake. You get ridiculed, you get mocked for being in this truth. Especially if you don't have no damn money, man. If you got some money, if you just finished teaching camp and you pull up in a damn Benz, people gonna be like, oh well, okay, he got a Benz though. But then they're gonna say, why you driving a white man's Benz? You can't win for losing. They still gonna make mockery, but they're gonna be like, oh, this nigga on a corner preaching, but at least he got a nice car. Because that's how stupid and carnal and materialistic our people are. And some of us have that, but we don't worship that. Some of us live in nice homes, nice jobs, businesses, whatever, but we don't worship that stuff. That doesn't make us who we are. All right? So we got to understand that that's what's going to happen in these last days. Everything going to be removed out the way, and the servants of the Most High, we're going to be the only ones there. All right, let's go back to Leviticus 23. Well, we finished that. All right, Leviticus 23 and 44. And Moses declared unto the children of Yasha'Allah the feast of Yahweh. All right, so those are the feasts, y'all. Come back to the Most High's feast, and we closing out the Tabernacles for this year. All right, so from there, let's go to Exodus 23 and 14. Exodus chapter 23 and verse 14. Yeah, that's what I want. Exodus 23 and 14. All right. All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. Everybody calling in. Shalom. All right. Exodus 23 and 14 when y'all get a chance. All right. A couple of more scriptures. Not too long on this lesson. Just some basics y'all should know. If y'all followed along last week, y'all should have the lesson from last week, knowing what the Tabernacles is all about. So, Exodus 23:14. 3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto Yahweh in the year. The feast unto me in the year. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee in a time appointed of the month of Bib, for in it thou camest out from Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. So that's the Passover, of course. All right. The water, Chantel. And the feast of harvest, verse 16, the first fruits of thy labors which thou hast sown in the field, and the feast of ingathering. So we covered Passover. We covered the feast of the first fruits. So the feast of ingathering has to be what? The feast of tabernacles. All right. It says, which is the end of the year. Notice it keeps saying the end of the year, meaning the end of the crop year or season. When thou hast gathered in thy labors out of the field. So the feast of tabernacles, it represented booths and staying in. So that's symbolic to the ingathering also, because it represented you gathered your crops in out of the field to store them up for the fall and winter season, so you can have food throughout that season when the crops don't grow. So it was dwelling in the booths and the gathering in, because we gathered in the booths also. So the spiritual symbolism of it is deep also. It also represents that gathering in of the booths. Remember when we came out of Egypt, we couldn't build permanent housing because we were wandering for 40 years. We were wandering through the wilderness. So we had to build temporary housing or booths or tents or something quick to dwell in as we were moving through the wilderness after coming out of Egypt. So it's a commemoration of both of those things that we're celebrating each year to the Most High. All right, we thanking the Most High for this historical time where he blessed us and delivered us as a people. All right, so reading on. 3 times in the year all thy males shall appear before Yahweh thy power. All right, so those are the 3 main days, so we're required. So any of y'all that missed out, or you didn't do too good, or your work schedule, whatever, you didn't plan properly for the Feast of Tabernacles this year, you got to do better for next year. If we still here in this captivity. Or I don't, if America's still here, whatever. If Trump don't blow this damn country up. And I hope he does. But, you know, you got to do better if we still here and we, you know, keeping the Feast of Tabernacles. You have to do better for next year, Israel. All right? Kwame Ashala. So let's go from there to Numbers. Let's go to Numbers 29 and 12. All right? These are the basic scripts in the law that we have to go over concerning our great feast days. All right, Numbers chapter 29 and verse 12. All right, I give everybody a second to get it. When everybody got it, say Khan. All right, when everybody have it, say Khan. All right, everybody got it once again, Khan. All right, so Numbers chapter 29 and verse 12. And on the 15th day of the 7th month, ye shall have an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work, and ye shall keep a feast unto Yahweh 7 days. So you notice how the Most High keeps putting everything in the law? He keeps repeating, because he wants Israel to remember, because we are a forgetful nation of people. We'll mess around and forget. And what days the Most High gave us? So the Most High is repetitious. That's why y'all see us. We go out there in the camps, we teach the classes and different things of that nature, and we're repetitious sometimes. Because Israel, they got to get it. Why do you think the Most High told us to do these feast days every year? Why do he say do the feast days every year? So we can always remember them. Now, certain times you got stuff like the year jubilees. You got the year of release that, you know, those were like every 50 years, every 7 years, things of that nature. But the high, holy, and feast days, he told us to keep every year so we can remember Israel. You got brothers teaching we don't have to do the Passover. But yet Yahweh Shah said, as often as you do this in remembrance of me. So which one is it? Why would he say as often as you do it if we wouldn't have to do it no more? So stop the nonsense. The Lord keeps repeating himself because he wants us to know. Keep these feast days. And the feast days are important. I tell y'all, from 25 years of experience in this truth, the feasts are a beautiful thing. You keep them, you come together, you do them in righteousness. The Most High bring all kinds of blessings. He brings blessings to the congregation. He brings blessings to your household. He brings judgment and prophecy. He loves to see us come together in righteousness, even if we don't have everything 100% perfect. All right, I know you holy day scholars out there, you have your calendar to September the 29th and a half, according to the quarter moon of Jerusalem. Israel time is the day you keep the feast. All right, I know y'all all deep out there with y'all knowledge and, you guys got the wrong day, whatever. But the Most High, he wants to see our effort. I was talking to a brother recently, and the brother said, we doing the feast days wrong, brother. We got to calculate. I said, the only thing, brother, is that's going to throw the calendar off. For the next year or two, it's going to throw the whole calendar off. All right? What's that question? Are we supposed to rehearse them? Or does everyone have all the feast days down packed? I don't know. You got to rephrase that question, brother. Who is that? Nazi? Is that Nazi from Atlanta? Nazi, get these down. This phone is so small. Oh, that's the other brother, Nazi from, I think that's the Midwest brother. Rephrase your question, brother. Now, see, he asked the question concerning the feast days. Y'all be getting up here talking about damn Solomon's key. All right. Salakia, y'all bear with me, man. I'm a little under the weather still. But anyway, I don't know, rephrase that, brother. But anyway, the Most High back to my original point, the Most High kept repeating things for Israel so you can get it. All right, so it can be driven into your head. All right, so reading on, I'm going to jump down to 35, y'all, because tonight we in the 8th day of the Feast of Tabernacles. So the Numbers 29 and 35. On the 8th day, ye shall have a solemn assembly. Ye shall do no servile work therein. So the 7 days that we kept the feast, we were supposed to dwell in the tents with our families. But on the first day, the opening day, was a holy convocation. Like we did last week in Vegas, Atlanta, New York, D.C., Ohio, throughout the different states. And other brothers and sisters, of course, that gathered together. Some brothers and sisters are still out camping tonight. It's beautiful. It's all good. All right. Sabah, you answering for me, brother? Are we supposed to rehearse the feast days as a nation of people? Or can you explain why everyone keep the feast days at different times? You know the answer to that, brother. Because we a nation. Israel got all their calculations and Enoch. I talk about that every year. I mean, if you ever listen to me on the feast days, I always talk about that. I don't think that's going to get corrected till Christ come back, honestly. Because everybody got different research, and they're going to say that their day is right. I'm through debating and arguing about that. So all the feast days are correct. Every feast day that's written in the scriptures is correct, brother. Now the dates, any of y'all that follow me, HOI, y'all know I say this every year. The dates are because of brothers calculating the new moons differently, and brothers are adamant and they're going to stick to their research. To me, it causes too much confusion. I've tried to sit down with brothers and go over their research. I try to understand where brothers is coming from, how they get their calendars. I just calculated the way I learned and understood it from my elders and elders I congregated with. And then I went back over it myself and I still calculated that way. So I push out the calendar to HOI. We push it out to our followers, and that's all we can do. Because if you try to go with all this other research, you'll never know when the hell you're going to keep your feast day. And the reason why we got to settle on dates